Well, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, June 24th, 2025. Welcome to the live trading room. I'm Tim McKee, your host, and glad you're here. Hope you had a good evening yesterday. Here are yesterday's trades. Very basic, simple day we had yesterday. We just took four trades on this swing high that happened. We didn't get faked out by that sell-off in the first few minutes. So always proud of that. And four good trades for plus 53. So we made our net yesterday. So good on that. But look what happened in the middle of the day, starting about 12:16, had a big, sharp sell-off that happened, and then a huge swing high that happened. So if you were trading middle of the day, you'd have been nicely rewarded. Not much went on beyond that. A little bit of a swing high at the end of the day, but yeah, huge sell-off and reversal that happened. So lots of really good trading there if you're in it. I didn't trade anything, so it was what it was. Anyway, we SPY closed at 651, which is also believe that's the high of the day. And we do have a gap open this morning. SPY is currently sitting at 604.72, and our gap fill and trigger will be 654 cents. So if we should come back down to 654 cents, we will trigger a put play. But we'll see how that happens, and we'll talk through that as we get to it. All right, let's move over to the option chain. We are obviously in the 24th. We have 1.8 million 4-3 traded on the underlying or in pre-market volume. Good volume this morning. We will likely start at the 603 on the call side and the 606 on the put side, but we'll see when we get all this pre-market volume in, see if that changes our strikes at all. But that's probably where we'll likely be. And let me let in some people who are waiting. Good deal. Okay, with that, let's say good morning and welcome back, Keith, once again. Good morning, Keith.
Good morning, Tim. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, had a nice weekend visiting friends, so appreciate the time off. Anyway, back at it today. We had a housing price index report come out this morning at 9 o'clock with not as good as expected, as well as the Case-Shiller home price indices was not as good as expected. We had one of the Fed members speaking about 15 minutes ago. We will have a consumer confidence number coming out at 10, as well as Chairman Powell is going to testify, I think it's before Congress today at 10, and Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index at 10. We'll have another Fed member speaking at 12:30 and a bond auction, 2-year note auction at 1 o'clock. And golly, a number of other Fed members speaking this afternoon, too. So a busy day of announcements. Expect to see a pop at 10 based on what we see on those reports. And I will be trading this Friday's expiration, the 27th.
All right.
About it from here.
All right. Thank you, sir. That was a long report for first day back.
Yep.
Okay, just a reminder to have 20 cents between each of your hash marks here next to your charts. So we're all looking at the same size candles from day to day. We've got about 15 seconds before we start. And again, I want to welcome, we've got a lot of new people in today, so we're going to continue going through some stuff today. Here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there's the bell. And starting with over 2 million in the underlying asset, pushing down a little bit. We're already below VWAP. Let's move some things around here a little bit. Both our MACDs are in the put bias position. We don't really do anything for the first 4 to 5 minutes unless we have an obvious breakout. We don't do anything. But anyway, want to welcome a lot of new members again here today. Glad you're here checking us out, and we will continue to do some education today on our technique, and we're going to talk a little bit about active trader and the option chain. So if you are new to Thinkorswim, those are things that are essential that you'll need to know essentially for getting in and out of trades. And we'll also review our zones again today, just to drive it home. Let me get my volume here set up. There we go. Okay. Had a good day yesterday. Like I said, that nice swing high we had made it very easy to get those 4 trades in. And that's what we trade. We trade breakouts and trends. We love the trends. Price rebounding back up off of that little drop down, coming back up to VWAP. Okay, and in the broader indices, we've got the Dow's up 305, Nas up 205, and S&P up 45. So very strong positive market this morning. We're in triple digits on both the Dow and the NASDAQ. Doesn't necessarily mean we'll be looking for calls, but we will be favoring call trades if the market, if SPY moves in that direction. So over on the option chain, again, I will be, now things have settled in, I'll be at the 603 on the call side and the 606 on the put side. And I am in today's expiration. You can trade tomorrow's expiration, pick up a little bit of time. You can trade with Keith and go to Friday and pick up a whole bunch of time value. Good volume so far. We're up over 3,400,000. Price just kind of bouncing around in a fairly tight little range. No breakouts yet. Dow is now up to 304. NASDAQ up 201. S&P up 43. We've broken above 600 again. See if we're going to stay above 600 this time. That's the price of the underlying asset, SPY, the ETF. need to climb a little bit. I'm going to put a pseudo demand zone in on the bottom of this first 5 minute candle.
You read my mind.
I know you're thinking it. I know you were. Let's go green. Okay, pseudo demand zone. Let's move that down. Let's move that down a bit. Both our MACDs are now in the call bias position. All right, let's keep an eye on, I'm going to keep an eye on the 603 on the call side here, just in case we're beginning to break out. We're past our 5 minute, first 5 minute period. So what we typically do is try to get one or two trades in. Then we'll do some training and keep an eye on things as we do. All right, price is beginning to rise here. Hopefully this will turn into a breakout. We've got our MACDs in agreement. All right, looking at that 603 on the call side. Stand by.
I'm going to go ahead and try to get in.
Yeah, let's go ahead and enter that. And in at 261.
I got in at 473.
Going through a little bit of reversal here. We're also going to talk about stops today. Get on up there. May have to go through a little bit of consolidation here first.
That's it. Keep on going up there.
Mm-hmm. Let's move this down, give it a little room to grow. This is what we'd call a classic breakout. I'm going to try to get 20 cents out of this. All right, stand by to take profit. Let's go ahead and take some profit here. There we go. Out at 284, 261 to 284.
472 to 493.
Good job.
I think Keith's still there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm still in it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get 30 cents out of it.
And I'm going to change to the 604 on the call side. All right, stand by on this 604.
Come on, get on up there. Come on.
Tim,
Yes.
why is there no movement on that chart by the active trader?
Oh, because it's out of range, out of frame here. There we go.
Oh, thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
Oh, I should have figured that out. But I asked.
Getting a little bit of a reversal here. Probably bounce right back up. There it goes. So that was just a little bit of profit taking that went on right there. Great volume so far, 6,537,000 already traded on the underlying. Dow's up 359, Nas is up 223, S&P's up 50. Maybe in a little bit of consolidation right now before it breaks out again.
There we go. All right, got her filled. All right, so got 31 cents on that,
Yeah.
473 to 504.
Nice. All right, so let's while we're waiting for another trade to come along, first off, let's talk about stops. Um, Whenever you're in a trade, you should have a stop in mind. That is, how far down will I let a trade go before I get out? And I am set to somewhere between 30 and 50 cents as a stop on my trades. Now, that's something you can set automatically on Active Trader. And actually, you can do it on the option chain as well. A little bit more of a manual process on the option chain. But you should always, whatever trade you get into, should just have in mind, all right, I'm not going to exceed this loss. So when you hear me say, when we're in a trade and it kind of starts to go against us, and I'll say, watch your stops, that's what I'm referring to. Okay, I'm heading over to the 604 on the call side. You do have a nice uptrend going here.
Team, so actually, is there any you can show us so how to do stops on is option chain once,
Sure.
you know, I mean, when you're free.
Yep. See if we're going to go into a little bit of consolidation here. Remember, we're always price moves in two ways. It moves in, I mean, it goes into consolidation, or it's breaking out, or it's in consolidation, or it's breaking out. And that breakout can be up or down. Currently, we're getting a little bit of sell-off. Up to 7,600,000 already on the underlying. Good volume. Everything's over 100,000 a minute. As you can see on our volume subchart here. Price coming down pretty significantly, bound to VWAP. See if it bounces off of VWAP, or it's just going to push right through. All right, I'm going to head over to the put side, guys, to the 606 on the put side. Currently retreating back to VWAP. See if it gets a secondary push down here. The price getting stuck at VWAP. And just a reminder from yesterday, we have our first zone in our pseudo demand zone, and we can actually put in a supply zone up on top here.
Yep.
An extra day. I'm going to turn this red color, more HSV 60. Boom. There we go.
I went ahead and got in that 606 on the put.
Okay. Stand by on the 606 on the put side. I'm going to go ahead and get into the 606 on the put side. Got in, filled at 205.
Come on down. Come on down.
Tim,
Yes.
is there a 1 cent to 1 cent correlation between the SPY and then the option
1 cent to 1 cent.
in the movement up and down? Does it always exactly 1 cent at the same time or no?
No, no, it moves differently. It depends on what the delta is. And I'll talk a little bit about that when we get out of this trade here.
Thank you.
Sure. Come on, break on through the demand zone. There we go. Stand by to take some profit. I'm going to go ahead and take some profit here. Out at 224.
20 cents on this. See if I can get 20 cents. And I think I just did. No, not quite yet. This one did. Come on down.
Okay, that's two good trades so far. Keith, you still in?
One account filled, the other didn't.
Ah.
Come on, Phil, right there. Come on, Phil. Come on, Phil.
That should do
There
it.
we go. It filled. All
Okay.
right. So I got 23 cents on that one.
Okay. I got 19 on that. So we're still heading down. So the question was, is there a one-to-one correlation between price on SPY and on the option? And the answer is no, it isn't. If we go over to the option chain, yeah, let's see. Well, I'll do that a little later. I don't want to switch over to it just yet. We'll wait till things slow down here a little bit. But it depends on the delta on the option. Whatever the strikes all run at different deltas, and the delta tells us how far the option will move per dollar of movement of the underlying of SPY, the underlying asset. So it depends on where it is in the option chain, what strike we're at the option chain will determine what delta we're at, and delta will determine how much the underlying or how much the option will move per $1 of movement of the underlying. I know that's a mouthful and that's complicated. And when I can switch over to the option chain, I will show you. All right, I am also going to head over to the 605 on the put side. We're clearly in a big sell-off right here, a good trend down. Looks like every one of our minutes have been over 100,000, and we've got less than 30 seconds till the pop at the top. There's the pop. You can tell by the erratic movement of price. A lot of chunks of volume coming in on this minute. So as we talked about yesterday, the pop at the top, we have known for years that there's something that happens at the top of the first hour of trading. It can be news related, report related, or can have no relationship at all. But we generally get a pretty good move, both in volume and in price movement at the top of the hour, at the 10 o'clock Eastern hour. Wow.
And a lot of times it can change direction after 2 or 3 minutes also.
Mm-hmm. Let's get some things in view here. So our 1 minute MACD on our Heikin-Ashi chart, lower right, is pointing up and coming around the corner pretty quickly. The 5 minute is converging. But our whole technique is designed not to chase these sudden moves that we have. We want to wait for these trends. We had that nice trend in the beginning, which we took a trade off of, and this trend going down, which we've taken a trade off of, or a trade from, not off of. And as Keith just mentioned, after a couple of minutes, price reverses often, and it's doing that now. But we just wait for things to settle down, get into a nice direction again.
Yeah, I don't think nothing less than 100,000 per minute volume.
Mm-hmm.
10.8 million underlying traded.
Got the Dow is up by 261, Nas up by 188, S&P up by 39. So we've got price kind of moving against broader markets.
Mm-hmm. And we could see some variations up and down depending on what Powell's saying in front of Congress as he testifies here in the next half hour or so.
Mm-hmm.
You have the crossover on the MACD on the Heikin-Ashi chart going up.
We can
May
see
have a real demand zone in here if this hangs on.
Yeah. So our zone, our demand zone that we put in early was just based on the low of the first 5 minute candle. It's what we call a pseudo zone. It's not real, not all or fully real. Looks like we're going to get a new demand zone here based on this current 5 minute candle. And there we go. So let's go ahead and we're going to activate this and we're going to move it down to there. We're going to activate So just a quick review on our zones. As we talked about yesterday, whenever price comes to a point and reverses as it did, boom, right here, when price comes to a point and there's just no other trader on the planet willing to spend one more cent to buy, price reverses. And we mark that. The high end, the top of the chart is a supply zone. The bottom of the chart is a demand zone. So the same thing happened on the bottom. Price came to a point, stopped and reversed, and we mark that. And we call this, the green one is demand, the red one is the supply zone, or you can also know these as support and resistance. And then these zones become guide marks for trades later on. See if going into some consolidation here, maybe.
If you on your 1 minute chart, Tim, if you were to scroll just left just a little bit, you can see where that demand zone that we drew in just recently, but it actually came down to a similar place towards the opening of the market. Now on the not on the Heikenasi, but on the other one.
On the 1 minute,
Top
sorry.
left, yeah. There it goes. So you can see it's about the same level there, even though we didn't have the demand zone in there at that time. Came down and honored that sort of that low again.
Mm-hmm.
Friend of mine I was talking to this weekend about what we're doing, and he's very intrigued by it, so he may come and join us for a trial period
Okay.
once he gets back. Uh-oh, what happened here?
Wow.
Powell probably said something.
Yeah. Yeah. Big tranche of volume came in on that minute.
And just a heads up, Powell will he's in front of um, the House of Representatives today, and he'll be in front of the Senate Banking Committee tomorrow.
Yeah, I see him on CNBC. They're covering him.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, that push down was probably Powell driven. So we'll just be patient, wait for a breakout and another trend. See, and when you do that and you just be patient, the trades will come to you. We don't have to chase things.
Yep, don't force it.
Because our technique is actually pretty simple when you think about it.
And we may get some little bit more volatility towards the end of this week, and as we approach the end of the second quarter of the financial markets here.
Mm-hmm.
Get some people rebalancing their portfolios here. midweek to late week.
Team, remember we had on Friday we had trade that put trade. So actually, I mean, you got out
Yeah.
from that. So I was holding that
Uh-huh.
Friday's expiration, and yesterday. So I was so actually I was not in front of my computer, and suddenly I heard that so that I mean, Iran bombed so the US base,
Uh-huh.
and as soon as I hear that, I just sold my option. As soon as I sold it, within like few minutes, I saw that it just went up.
Yeah. Oh
You
boy.
know, if actually, if I hold my one, so today I would make tons.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Mine was 4 something, as now 597 is over, is like $8 now.
Wow. Wow.
Lost it.
Yeah, you just never know.
477,
Hmm.
and now it's $8.
Oh.
I got scared actually.
Yeah. I get it. All right, so we're kind of well, trying to come down here. So while we're waiting on a trade, so there's a couple of ways. If you're new to Thinkorswim, there's a couple of ways to get in and out of trades. One is active trader, which is what you see on the upper right here. And the other is the option chain, which you don't see because it's on another monitor. I actually use 3 monitors. All 3 have charts on them, but my third monitor has Zoom and communication software that I use for the trade room on it. But my second monitor, I have an option chain and a monitor, so I can see what trades I'm getting in and out of on there. So if you are limited on space, you can actually trade on one screen using the active trader. And the first thing you need to know about the active trader is how to get the strike into the active trader, which is pretty simple. Right next to active trader, you have this chart to the left of active trader. And if you come up to the top here and go to options, put in SPY, then it'll come up with the option chain actually inside of active trader. And that's where you can pick the strike. So I'm on the 24th. I'm going to go ahead and select the 506 put and put that into active trader. Now I can trade the 506 strike put in active trader. And there's a couple of ways to get into the trade. One is I can hit buy ask, the button up here. Let me get my drawing tool. I can hit the button up here, or I can go into the bid column and actually get into a trade there. And to get out of a trade, I can either hit the sell bid up here, or I can go ahead and select something in the ask, the red in the ask size column will get me out. Now, the cool thing about active trader, besides the fact it's all on one screen, is you can actually move your bid. out. So if you're in a trade, you can you can set where you want to get out at, but you can actually move that during the trade. Another very nice feature of the active trader is you can set up templates in it. So you can set up a single, an OCO, one cancels the other, a trigger with bracket, trigger with 2 brackets, and a trigger with 3 brackets. So you can actually set up a complete trade with a limit, a stop, all in one click of the button, which I think is real nice. Keith, you use Active Trader, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Solely.
Yeah. What's your favorite aspects of Active Trader?
That I can get in very quickly or get out very quickly by hitting that buy to ask or sell to bid number.
Mhm.
And as long as I don't have a trailing stop in, I can drag that around. So if it's sort of stalling out, that I've had a limit order in, I can drag it down to where it is. And so I just love it. It's great.
Mhm. Yeah. And those who use Active Trader love it. Um, it just has a lot of nice little features to it. And I use the option chain, which is on my other screen, which when we get to a real quiet time, I'll switch over to it for just, a short while and show it to you.
Plus, the other thing I like is the chart is the price of the options to the left of the active trader there too. You can follow that and sort of see where your orders are also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're breaking out again toward the top side. We're on VWAP. We're going to let this break out more before we get into a trade. But I will be at the 603 on the call side if we continue up. Now we've got 2 positive trades in already. I'm up plus 42.
Just one caution on active trader. If you have a cat that likes to walk across your keyboard, don't let the cat do that. Or even if you have another screen that comes up and you go to click on this screen to bring it back to the top, make sure you're not clicking on the bid or the ask column when you do that. You'll place the trade.
That's right.
Don't ask me how I know that one.
Yeah, I did it.
The It's probably been quite some time ago. Was having a problem with Active Trader on something. It was really acting squirrely, and I think they had an error in their code.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say for at least 6 months now, it's been very stable. No issues at all.
Good. Yeah, there was a period of time where it was acting weird. It would take out stops prematurely. Um, this was kind of a pain, but I think they've got that all repaired. All right, let's go over to the 603 on the call side. Stand by.
Boy, there's not a lot of room between VWAP and the supply zone, though.
Yeah. May wait for it to break through if it does.
Yeah, I think so too.
Got both our MACDs are in the call bias position, both heading up.
What's your weather like down there, Tim? Is it hot?
Oh, it's hot. Oh my gosh.
I was in Ohio this weekend, and it was last couple of days was up in mid to upper 90s. It's supposed to get close to 100 here today in
Ugh.
Maryland.
Yeah, it's the same down here, mid 90s, upper 90s.
I've got my golf league this afternoon. I'm not looking forward to that.
Our
Yeah.
pool water's 94.
Oh my gosh, that's bathwater.
Yeah, mine was 90 when I got home. I took the solar rings off.
Yeah. We're waiting on the inspector to come and inspect the new decking around the pool. So we can get ours open.
That's your community pool?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because it's been so cool up until this last week that hasn't
Yeah.
been warm enough to really get much into it. And kicking back from the supply zone there.
Yep. Bouncing off.
Hey, Tim,
Yeah.
hate to be stupid, but when you're using the active trader and you have it set for a put strike, do you buy or sell that?
It all depends on what strike is what strike is loaded in. So if you want to do a put strike, a put trade in active trader, you need to load in a put strike.
And then buy or sell.
And then buy, and yeah, then it's the same for either a call or a put in terms of buy, ask, and sell bid.
Okay. Thank you.
You got it.
Tim, you showed me once, so actually how to make a template, and I did it. Now I forgot.
Oh, it's real simple to make a template. If I go up to here, let me just get my drawing tools out while we wait for this to break through. Up here to template. And keeping an eye on this possible call trade. If you come up to template, and if you pick trigger with bracket, it comes up with options up here. So the first one is the limit order. So you'd make that whatever you want your limit to be. So let's just say plus 0.30 for 30 cents. Make sure you always hit enter. When you're doing a number on Thinkorswim, always hit enter to set that number in. And then the stop, which is below, and you have two options on the stop, can be a stop or a trailing stop. Trailing stop is cool because it will maintain your profit. It travels with your limit, which is a very cool little option. But The caveat to that is you cannot move it because it's locked into the limit. So on the stop, you just come over here and we will erase all that and go minus 0.30 for a 30-cent stop. So now we've just created a template that has a limit of 30 cents, that is price going up, and a stop of 30 cents down on it. And you can see it's a limit and a stop, and time in force would just be for the day. And then to save that, we come over to this little save custom order template icon here on the far right, click that, and then you can put a name in here and save it. And you recall it by going under the template, and you can see I've got all these templates set up under here. And you can delete any one of those by going under the delete column and getting rid of them, which I should probably do at some point.
Thank you, Tim.
You got it.
And if you have a trailing stop order that you want to actually to move it, you just cancel the order and then you can re-enter it as a single order to a limit order to close it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You can see that we've bounced off the supply zone. And this is one of the reasons why we track and put in zones here. It's because often price will come up and bounce off of them and just bounce off of zones.
I'll be back in a minute, Tim.
All right. Now we may be bouncing off of VWAP here. So let me see, where are we? We've got 15,396,000 already traded on the underlying. We're about at an hour in. And the Dow is at 300 plus 300, NAS is plus 201, S&P is plus 44. Looks like price may bounce off of VWAP. Let's see if price is going to bounce off or it's going to break through. We're about to get across on our MACD on our Heikin-Aussie. We're still in a call bias position on our 5-minute MACD.
We're definitely trading in a fairly narrow range today.
Mm-hmm. Now we're starting to see some wave action happen here on price as it moves up and back, which means we may be able to scalp one of these directions, probably the call direction. If it comes back down again, bounces off of VWAP, we may look at taking a call trade when it comes back up. Price trying to break above the supply zone here. And failing to. All right, well, we wait on that. I am going to show you the option chain here a little bit. Just I'm going to switch over to my second monitor and I'm going to keep an eye on the other one. Let me go share. All right, so you should be seeing my option chain now. This is the other way to get into trades is with the option chain. So, and I'm keeping an eye on trade, so don't worry. So on the left side, we have calls. On the right side, we have puts. And we typically get in at the money, which is the first blue shaded line here. So we have strikes here. These are the strikes that we get into. right there. And you can see the current price of SPY, the underlying asset, is somewhere between 604 and 605. We can see it up here. It's 604.81. So when I want to get into a trade on the option chain, I just shift click into it. Let me admit Fred in. And this is the other way to get into trades, is simply by clicking on the ask to get in, the bid to get out. So we buy on the ask and we sell on the bid, just like we do. In order to, and I'll just do this quickly because I want to get back to trading. We can spend more time on this after trading. But I have a quick key set up where I can shift click into the ask. If I go up to setup, application settings, and go to orders, and just have auto send with shift click clicked here, deselect all the others, just have auto send with shift click. That way I can get into trades with shift click. You also have to go over to order defaults, options, and set up a default on how many contracts you want to use to get into it. And that is basically it. So on the right side are the puts, left side are the calls. We have bid, ask, and then you'll see, where's my drawing tools? And I'm going through this kind of quickly, but we have delta next to bid and ask. And this is what I was referring to earlier. This delta will tell us how far the option will move for every dollar that the underlying asset moves. So for instance, at the 604 strike call, for every dollar SPY moves, we can expect this option to move 60 cents. If we go one in the money, we can expect it to move 71 cents, and then 81, 82, and on up, but they get more expensive as we go up. So that is basically the difference between the underlying asset and the option of that asset. Okay, I'm going to switch back over. There we go. So that was just a quick view of the option chain. And after trading today, we can spend a little more time on it, and I can show you some other things. I just don't want to get away from our regular trading too much. All right, we got price moving out, or price moving up a bit and outside of the option chain. So I'm going to go over to the 604 on the call side. I'm going to give this a little more time, make sure that it's a true breakout. So stand by on that 604 on the call side. Okay. See a little more growth here.
I went ahead and got in on that.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger. And in at 182. I see Powell still testifying.
Come on, get back up there.
Come on, get up there.
I'm going to try to get 15 cents on this if I can.
Okay.
Come on, get on up there. Come on, get on up there. Mm.
All right, so watch your stops. Come on, get up there. So just
on.
going
Up,
through
up, 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 up.
consolidation. Get up there, get up there.
Well, we can move that supply zone up.
Mhm. Get that in a minute here. Come on, get on up there.
That's it. Get on up there.
All right, stand by to get out of this. Come on, get back up there.
Get on up there.
All right. There you go. Get on up there. Come on.
There we go. Come on. I'm just going to try to get 12 cents on this. Come on.
Come on up. Come on.
Come on, get on up there.
All right. I'm going to jump out of this at 185. I just don't like the way it's going. Took 3 cents.
Come on, just a little bit more. Come on, get up there. Oh, come on. Get on up there.
Okay. We can, let's see. I'm going to move this supply zone up a little bit. Activate that. There we go. Oh,
And get turkey.
Powell is still speaking. Obviously, something that he said the market did not like. Okay, we are at the top of the hour. We'll wait a few minutes, see if this works out. Breaking through the new supply zone.
Come on.
You can see at that 10:59 minute, just a ton of volume came in, huge tranche of volume came in that pushed that price down, was all in sell orders. All right, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and review what we've done while Keith waits for his trade to finish up. So we had 3 trades today, all positive. First trade, 938, right here. And we took this trade because we were in a nice swing high, a nice trend going up. So we took that trade there.
Just filled for 12 cents.
Oh, there you go. All right, very good. All right. And then trade number 2 was a put. We took it 952. Just when we were in a nice trend, just getting past VWAP, got into this trade for plus 19 because we were in a nice strong trend going down. So both of those trades were trend motivated. And then our last trade, now look at it go, Keith.
Of course. That's all right.
Gorth was a call trade. We got into that call trade. We had to carry it for a while. Should have held on to it a little longer, but wasn't going to take the chance. Got out when we could for plus 3. So that gave me plus 45, 3 trades. And that is going to do it for today, folks.
Yeah, I had 3 trades for 66 cents.
All right. So good day. Good day, everybody. Again, we'll continue with education tomorrow. And I think that's it. Guys, have a nice afternoon. Thank you, Keith.
Yep.
And we will see you all tomorrow. So take care.
Okay. Have a good day, everybody.